Culture in France, from antiquity to today, a reflection of cultural evolution. What is culture anyway? Why does it matter? If we are fish, culture is the water we swim in. The temperature, oxygen content, and nutrients are vital for our survival. Other fish and other creatures in our water also shape our lives, and over time, our water will invariably change. Culture in France can be seen as a complex interplay between the people, the history, and an ever changing social structure that reflect a rich context of national pride and diversity. The evolutionary nature of French culture can be viewed through the music, art, and literature of France, changing traditions in marriage and family structure, development and spread of the French language, and the impact of immigration as an agent of change in France. The changing genres of music, art, and literature reflect the continuous evolutionary nature of French culture. Music in France has moved from the chanson genre of Edith Piaf, Little Sparrow of French music, to Jacques Dutronc as a pioneer of French pop to the contemporary sound of Daft Punk in the electronic music era. Each iteration brought in new generations and new sounds. Art in French culture has its origins in antiquity, with the paintings seen in the caves at Lascaux from 17,000 years ago. Social upheaval is reflected in the neoclassical era of French artist Jacques-Louis David's Oath of the Horatii. Claude Monet's The Artist's Garden at Vautuille is an important example of Impressionism. Bicycle Wheel is a work by Marcel Duchamp, an avant-garde artist of the futuristic modern genre in French art. Literature in France traces from the Song of Roland, an epic poem of the Carolingian Empire in France. The classical era during the Age of Enlightenment in France brought revolutionary thought, seen in Victor Hugo's Les Miserables. And Louis Ferdinand Céline's Journey to the End of Night reflects a hopelessness of oppression due to war and colonization. The tradition of marriage and family structure in France are another example of the way in which human culture changes over time. Wedding customs have moved from church ceremonies with a man and a woman to the modern separation of church and state, including same sex marriage and civil unions. Marriages are certified through a civil ceremony in a town hall or mairie. The family unit in France consists of all persons living together in the same household. Families play a significant role in passing on cultural values to their children. Today's families may be nuclear with two parents, single parent, or blended in nature. The old cultural norm of a working father and mother in charge of all domestic matters is evolving today, with more working mothers and more fathers active in family life. These changes in old family traditions toward modern trends exemplify the evolutionary nature of French culture. Language, the main form of communication in French society, provides an excellent example of the evolutionary nature of its culture. The development of the French language literally evolved from the impact of many people as they moved into the region of France, bringing their native languages and rituals with them. Language began in France with Gaulish, the native tongue, and evolved through the impact of Latin in the Roman Empire, Germanic migrants, and the Normans in the 13th century. Today, French is the official language of 29 countries of the Francophonie world and is spoken by over 235 million people across the world. The importance of the French language continues to grow and evolve, reflecting its significance in a changing, diverse culture. Globalization in the modern world spotlights the evolutionary nature of culture in France, demonstrating that society, economy, politics, and governance have continued to be driven by the migration of others to France. From antiquity, the invasions and migrations from other countries shaped regional culture. Today, there's a continuing dynamic process driven by the increasing immigration, which has impacted French economy. Immigrants come seeking employment opportunities, and businesses started by immigrants open job possibilities for French citizens. In politics, the rise of the political far right, exemplified by Marine Le Pen's national rally, pushes a view of immigration as a threat to national security and French identity. Laws related to laïcité, the freedom from religion in French schools, are being challenged by an increasing demand among Muslim immigrants and others in French society for increased freedom of speech and greater diversity. The evolutionary nature of culture in France, viewed through the lens of music, art, and literature, marriage and family customs, language development, and globalization, shows us how the waters in which we swim have been and always will be impacted by the forces of time. My own exploration of culture in France has led to a much greater understanding of what it means to be French.